Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that sound good? You hear that back there? Big crowd here. Okay. All right, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check. That good? We'll do one more check here before we get started with our open discussion here with Hilty Showpigs. And keep on keeping on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just starting here to tune in, what we're going to do here is just kind of have an open forum discussion, a little bit about the offering here with the First Class Female Sale, 3rd edition, coming to you live here from Pennsylvania. But do want to remind some folks of the sale details. So it will be a live sale tomorrow at 8 p.m. Please feel free to join the crowd here in Pennsylvania, but of course you can bid online live through CCI. I believe there's a preview there at the farm at 5 p.m. and then going to have dinner here, I believe at 7 p.m. there tomorrow. Prompt start at 8 o'clock as we get started with the sale. And so if we're ready to go, we can go ahead and kick off the discussion. And I want to introduce two folks that really need no introduction, and honestly a real pleasure to get the opportunity to visit with two guys that I consider certainly friends and folks that I respect in this industry, Mr. Will Hilty and Mr. Troy Sloan. And certainly, one of the things that's been a lot of value, I think, is as we've looked at the show pig industry and talked about how we move forward and make this business better, is having some of these type of discussions where we might not just necessarily dive into the in-depth discussion about each individual pig, but more about the philosophy behind why these sales exist and why we offer these exchange of genetics. And so, just to kind of kick it off, I want to give Will the opportunity to share a little bit about the why behind this particular sale, and just a little bit about where this came from a standpoint of what was the original intent of this, and then the opportunity that sits before a lot of these folks here in 2025.
Well, certainly appreciate everyone tuning in for this little open forum or discussion or whatever you may want to call it, and certainly appreciate Clay being here and my good buddy Troy. As Clay alluded to, first and foremost, I like to call both of these guys good friends, and anytime you dive in and offer genetics like this, it's got just a little different feel to it than maybe a baby pig sale. Obviously we take great pride in customer success regardless of setting, but man, there's just something different about selling a female that goes on and makes a difference for a young person or an established breeder. When some of these sows, gilts leave the farm, there's a lifetime of work and effort that maybe go into producing that particular individual. I know it's cliche that a lot of times when people are having a sale, they say this is the best said offering that they've ever had, but I truly do believe that you've got opportunity to tie into sows that have raised herd boars. You've got the opportunity to tie into sows that are bred to boars that had a limited amount of semen offered on them. And then when you jump into the open gilt offering, I sincerely mean that we dove in deep there, and you're going to get the opportunity to buy littermate gilts to a couple boars that we think are very special. And there's not a gilt in this offering that if we weren't where we're at from a numbers perspective and didn't have the goal of having this sale on the radar, every one of the females offered the open gilts would be one we'd be putting semen in and putting back in our sow barn.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot to unpack there. And I guess I want to kick it over to Troy. And we had the opportunity here to kind of go through the open sows and gilts. And I think a good place to start, Troy, is just what kind of was your general reaction seeing those as we kicked them out. And then I'll follow up with some comments after we looked at them in the slap barn.
No, absolutely. Good question. And I guess just to echo kind of what these two guys to my left said, awesome opportunity, awesome experience here in Pennsylvania. I always enjoy my time coming out here, whether it's to look at baby pigs or watch a football game maybe on Christmas Day or come to the first class female sale. Man, I love my time out here. Enjoy it. The people are great. The pigs are great for sure as well. And I'll be honest, I hadn't seen any of these, I guess, with exceptions of some of those open gilts when I was back here in December. But when we dropped them out there just a bit ago, they probably exceeded just expectations. And I know Will already said it, but that's probably cliche to say and sounds like a broken record. But honestly, they hit me hard. They hit me very hard. Without a doubt, I thought the open gilts. Man, I studied the videos there a few nights ago when I was up farrowing, and there were several of those that hit me hard in the videos, and they come out here in person and hit me probably equally as hard or just as hard. And there were some maybe that didn't video quite as well, maybe just didn't act quite as good because obviously they're just coming off slats. That when you get here in person, if you have the opportunity to come, are probably going to hit you that much harder. And not only visually did I think those things were very nice, but when you listen to Will and his crew and just the passion that they have to make hogs better, and when you think about just the pedigrees behind these open gilts and sows, but particularly the open gilts, as we've started on those, or I guess I've started on those just from a talking perspective. These aren't no accident. This came with a lot of thought process, a lot of I guess probably sounds like again a broken record, but blood, sweat, and tears, I guess, for lack of better terms, have went into these open gilts. And I will tell you, I came here in December to watch a Chiefs game, and unfortunately for William and the Steelers fans, they didn't play very well that day, and Kansas City kind of whipped up on them. But anyway, he gave me the opportunity to go in that finishing barn that day, and man, they were good. They were very, very good, and I had notches down, and I come back, and some of those gilts that I had down, looked back at my notes from that Christmas Day, or I guess that would have been the day after Christmas, after that Chiefs-Steelers game, and a lot of those particular gilts that I had down that he was 100% not willing to sell are in this sale today. Those weren't ones that he slid behind the back barn and said, hey, we're going to keep those. He was committed to selling them in this particular sale. So I got a little long-winded, got a little off center there, off subject, but what I will tell you is William is a very competitive person. We're all very, very competitive in this business, and nobody wants to hold an event that puts together a venue, puts together a catalog, and puts together this much work and doesn't offer some of their absolute best. And I will tell you about those open gilts. There's some of those that their whip broke away from being very, very competitive at a very high level, anywhere you want to take them in the country. And then you drop the breads out, and I know I'm getting a little long-winded on this question, but we could all sit here and talk about visually. What I would tell you on those breads is talk to Will, talk to their crew here. What some of those have done is absolutely unmatched. I don't know, Will could probably tell you, I don't know how many sows are offered in this offering that are mothers of boars that aren't just high-dollar baby pigs that have gone on to studs and then eventually became pepperoni. They're boars that have made a very have been impactful, within the industry. Like I said, I don't know how many there are, but this one's mother is listed a lot within the offering here. So again, got a little long-winded there. Very cliche at the same time. I don't know what else you're supposed to say when you do these sale things. Very nice set of females, in my opinion.
Yeah, and as Troy alluded to, I mean, we're going to talk about these sows here in a minute, but I mean, what a unique opportunity, I really think, for someone to step up to the plate and offer a set of open gilts like this. And the thing that I was super impressed with when we first got here was you don't get the opportunity very often to walk into a slap barn and look at a bunch of females in their natural condition in that kind of environment and be able to project ultimately what they're going to do in your herd. And so, Will, I want you to take a little bit of time and just talk to the folks at home, whether they're able here to make it tomorrow or not, but just describe a little bit of the philosophy of making those gilts so durable and tough and rugged, and yet, as Troy alluded to, and we made that joke before we came on over here, I mean, I picked out 3 or 4, and I said, get a whip and a stick on that one, and they're going to compete anywhere in the country. Just share a little bit about your philosophy of how you've developed those gilts, and again, what kind of made those sort to the top for this particular offering.
Yeah, well, I think an interesting subject, a fun subject to touch base on. I've told several people that have asked about our slatted barn. I think that, it's been 5 years or so ago that we built that particular barn, and I feel like our pigs got a lot better and did so quick, and it was multifaceted. One, we started keeping nearly every summer-born gilt. This particular set of gilts comes out of, I think at one point there were about 260 gilts stuffed in that slatted barn, and it's fun to watch them mature in a commercial type environment. And the one thing that I've continually told people that those things will do a lot of self-sort. Bad pigs do not do good in that environment. So the ones that are built right from a feet and legs perspective, the ones that are right about their skeleton, they can hold up in that environment, and those gilts then have a tendency to sort themselves to the top. And multifaceted there. Man, when you've got to pick your keeper gilts out when they're 60 or 75 pounds because you only have so much room to keep so many of them, time and time again, some of the better ones or the ones that go on to be generators are just the ones out of good sows that maybe didn't blow you away at one particular stage of the game, but they're the ones that stood the test of time. They were built right. And then when you get those ones mated up properly, man, it's been a lot of fun. And I think the other facet of that is when you start keeping 200 plus gilts, and we skipped this particular sale last year. The next thing you know, your sow numbers balloon and start to get out of control a little bit. It forces you to get rid of stuff that's just simply not good enough. Sows that maybe are just middle of the road that have done a nice job in terms of farrowing and raising litters, but don't raise the kind that we need to be competitive today. You need crate space, you need dirt lot space. The next thing you know, those sows are eliminated and your sow herd gets a whole lot better.
For sure. And the one thing that really intrigued me too, and you and I have had this discussion, and one of the things I've always appreciated about Will is he's a true livestock stockman. He's somebody that doesn't matter the species. He sees livestock and he understands the art of breeding livestock. And one of the things that I appreciate about both these gentlemen sitting here is, we talked a lot in the cattle side of things about contemporary groups. And the thing that I like about coming to both of these firms is being able to step back and see a group of females sired by a particular sire and how consistent and how quality they are. And that's one of the things that I think you'll see as you flip through this offering. And Troy, if you want to comment on this, and then we'll jump in wherever it makes sense. But you all have both sampled a lot of these sires up and down throughout the catalog, and you see a lot of them on the bottom side of pedigrees as well. But and not to eliminate or call any in particular out, but I am going to call a couple out. Lead Lap shows up a bunch, and that was a group of females I was very impressed with. No Huddle is one that shows up a lot. And you look on the bottom side of things, obviously that never before. And then we were getting into some stuff of American Bad Boy and a Skywire. And the thing that I want to, I'm sounding a little bit like you, Troy. I'm kind of rambling on and not getting to the point. But the thing that I want you kind of to both address is, one, to be able to put together a consistent group like that is not easy in today's business, for one. But second, to have the conviction and the methodology to do it, knowing that in an industry that's so fast-paced, to utilize boars that are continuing to be proven and have the conviction to do that. And just to, just for an example, No Huddle's not a 2024 new young boar. I mean, he's been around the block, but his success and what he does and showing up in pedigrees is really unmatched in this offering. So I say all that to get to the question of, share a little bit about how, as you look at these matings and the value that they potentially bring to these folks here tomorrow, what that looks like, and just your perspective of some of these really good mating groups that are going to be offered here this evening or tomorrow evening.
Well, no, that's a great question, a good topic to get into, and honestly, sky's the limit, I think, on terms of where this conversation could go. I guess the thing that sticks out the most to me, and Will is going to know way more about pedigrees in terms of his own livestock in relation to what this guy is going to talk about, but what I will tell you is my trip to Pennsylvania when I believe it would have been 2 seasons ago, the last first-class female sale, I think we bought 2 or 3 of those no-huddle daughters out of that particular sale. Team Sloan did, open females, and I don't remember, Will may remember how many were in that sale and how many he kept and how many he actually bred to no-huddle, but it was more often than not, I guess, for lack of better terms. And what I will tell you is not only have those females done good for us, and it's just a small sample group there at our particular farm, but if you flip through the catalog, man, it shows up, and that means something. Like Clay just said, have conviction and use what you want. Use what you believe in, and they bought that boar with a group of guys that I know Hilty went all in, and like I said, I'll let him kind of tell the details, and there's other stuff in here to talk about. Again, like I said, sky's the limit, and we could talk for 3 or 4 hours, I suppose, about pedigrees, but what really sticks out to this particular I guess livestock enthusiast, for lack of better terms, is the no-huddle daughters or granddaughters or whatever it may be. And again, I'm just talking from my perspective in terms of what the daughters that we have bought out of this particular sale and brought back to Missouri and used in our own program, as well as what I'm seeing here to come back. Man, that thing has been very good. And I know those no-huddle daughters, I hope I'm not speaking out of line or I got my facts straight, or those no-huddle pigs in general. I don't know if any of those barras just won a big show, if I'm being honest. But at the same time, most of those really good sow makers and those really good female makers, particularly like you said, never before, which you'll also see in these pedigrees, as well as like an American-made. The list goes on and on in terms of what's in this catalog that has kind of been on the female side of things, which unfortunately, and I know I'm kind of talking in circles, but sometimes I think in the swine industry, and I'm as guilty as anybody, the show pig industry, we lose sight of that, if I'm just being honest, because it's a fast-paced game and it's a what have you done for me lately kind of business, and we're wanting to win the next show. But anyway, where I'm going with that, there is a lot of stuff in this catalog, particularly this no-huddle thing, in my opinion, that has been just absolutely incredible. And when you stack the no-huddle, the American-made, the never before, and I know there's other stuff I'm missing in here. I said earlier, and I'm flipping through this because obviously I can't keep it all straight because there's several lots, but we talked earlier about the Anchorman thing. Man, I think that thing was ahead of its time in terms of just bone density and hair. Obviously, we got Never Before here, the Provoked thing, that goes back to Dirty Secret. You got some Dirty Lovin', Dash 8, a lot of that goes back to Dirty Secret. That's one we haven't talked about yet, just in terms of the, man, those barras won at the highest level, but I think the females were even more incredible. Again, it just goes on and on and on. I'll let Will talk more because they're his pigs, they're his pedigrees. He's put, again, the blood, sweat, and tears into it. But I will say there is a lot of stuff in this catalog right here in the first-class female sale, in my opinion, that just absolutely screams maternal characteristics and just stuff that is absolutely generated, and not just for Will, not just for Hilty Showpigs, but everybody across the country.
Yeah, as Troy went on there, maybe stole a little bit of the thought I had in terms of too many times in this show pig thing, we want to judge a sire by the number of barrow shows he wins or the number of high dollar boars he generates, and I think No Huddle was a prime example of that. He had some barrows that won and got along well, but I think without a doubt his lasting legacy is the female thing. And honestly, you know, that first time, and No Huddle wasn't around for just a whole long a while there, but you know, the three firms that own part of No Huddle, us and the boys at Trace and Corb Farms, I know that all of us have No Huddle sows that continually pop up on the bottom side of pedigree, and it's been interesting as we've got ready for pig sales the last couple seasons. It's time and time again, it seems like some of our better pigs are out of No Huddle sows, and those females are well represented in here. I think, you know, there's some projecting to be done, but I think lead lap could potentially be the same scenario. There were barrows that sold well, but maybe just didn't hang a signature win in terms of a barrow that won anywhere. But I'll tell you that these lead lap daughters in the sale, they're the kind of hogs that just look like dang good sows to me. They're good built, they're functional, yet they've got some extras in terms of bone and feature. I think lead lap could potentially be in that same category as No Huddle someday in terms of the females and what they could potentially go on and do.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you're going to flip through, especially on these open females, and it's going to be a lot of lead lap. And no doubt that boar was super impressive. And again, going back to that concept of, you know, we always talk about making that one that we want to swing for the fence or be an outlier, but it takes good, consistent females like this to make those. And I think lead lap certainly has done that. And if you can make the trip out here to Pennsylvania to go see them and see them in person, you're going to be thoroughly impressed. And I know I was watching the preview on the way over here, which is super safe, obviously driving through the hoops and hollers of West Virginia and Pennsylvania, but then looking through the catalog as well. You know, my question was, are they going to be as striking and as consistent as they look in their picture and video in person? And the answer is undoubtedly yes, and that's super impressive to do. I want to switch gears here a little bit, and you know, one thing that I know the three of us have kind of discussed offline and in the past has been this need to get more participation and engagement in this industry around, you know, breeding sows and having enthusiasm about the business. And the one thing that I'm going to ask a pretty pointed question I want each one of you to answer, but you know, one of the things that we've kind of gathered and learned here in the last few weeks through some meetings and forums is sometimes you know, us in the show pig or the breeding livestock industry aren't always the most approachable and easiest to ask questions of. And so there's going to be folks here that are tuning in tonight and are going to watch tomorrow that frankly are probably like, man, I really like this lot or I really like this lot, but to be honest, I'm a little nervous to pick up the phone and call a Will Hilty or pick up the phone and call Troy Sloan or call Jim McCoy. So my pretty pointed question for each of you is, if you're a newcomer or somebody that's interested in this business, what would be the 1 to 2 traits that you would say based on what's going to be in the offering? And again, I'm not naive enough to think that it's just a 1 single trait, 2 trait business. But if you were saying, hey, let's lay in a set of females to make us successful long term, what would be a couple of those things that you would recommend as you look at the offering?
Well, again, I think awesome point, and glad that Clay's here, because I'll be honest with you, we kind of got wrapped up in farrowing and getting everything ready, and I really wanted to do this tonight, but in the same breath had absolutely no idea what we were going to talk about. So I'm glad both of these guys are here, but I feel like a really good avenue to go down. And you know, talking about being approachable, I know sometimes that I probably can come off that way, but I'd like to think that I'm not that way at all, but maybe just a little more kept to myself or a little quieter. But man, nothing lights me up like a young person that wants to get involved in this. And I'm here to tell you that there is opportunity in this. I think what makes the swine industry so unique from all the other species, you flip to page 4 of the catalog, and there's a gilt that we sold as a baby pig that a young person kept, started a sow herd. A generation later, she raised a reserve Grand Barreled OIE herself that she showed. And I'm not sure I got to the point you wanted to make there, but what other industry does that happen in other than right here in the pig business? There's opportunity for young people, old people, beginners, newcomers, whoever it may be, and I think the kind of females that it takes to do that are represented in the pages of this catalog. And I always tell people that maybe want to make a change to their sow herd, or a young person that wants to get started, start with something that has a story that goes with it. Again, I think the opportunities to grab a hold of something that's already got a little bit of a story to go with us are represented very, very well here in this offering.
Well, again, another great question, and honestly, I think something like this could go on for hours and hours, and maybe you guys tuning in are already tired of hearing us, or dang sure tired of hearing me, because I probably talk too long, but I get excited and have a passion for this industry. And with that being said, as much as I like this guy to my left, I can promise you likes it probably 25 times more than I do. Lives it and breathes it, and has started from the bottom. Now he's here, I guess, for lack of better terms. I can tell you almost probably anybody that's been successful in this business probably started, I'm not going to say started from nothing, but dang sure didn't start at the top. This is an industry where you kind of got to work your way to the top, and this is nothing against the cattle business, the sheep business, the goat business, or whatever it may be, and this may not be popular to say, but money's not going to get you to the top near as fast in this particular species as some elbow grease and some hard work and just some passion and some things like that go a long, long ways in this business. And again, talking a little bit in circles, but like I said, what I will tell you for you youngcomers or even older people maybe that are just getting started, again, everybody that's successful in this business or is at the top at this stage of the game, for lack of better terms, I can promise you there was a time that they were ready to hang it up. There was a time they were a nobody, and there was a time that the most serious pig buyers in the country drove right by their houses or right by their farms and said, we're not stopping there, because that's not a big name person. They don't have what we're looking for. This guy to my left, I can promise you, he's been through the thick of it. He's been through the thin of it. He's got the good stuff and is as good of a human being as anybody in the country. He likes raising show pigs, but more importantly, he's very, very good to his customers. Reach out to him. I promise you, he's willing to help. Again, probably didn't do a great job answering that. I know Will beat around the bush just a little bit. I know Clay there asked, what are the kind of things you select for? And this has probably changed a little bit over time in this particular guy's opinion, just in terms of where I've set my mindset maybe from 10 years ago or 5 years ago from now. What I will tell you, if I have any advice from just a picking them out perspective, I love the stories. I love having some things like that to market and talk about if you're having an online sale or a live sale. What I will tell you, that two things that come to my mind that rise probably as high in my particular opinion in our operation in Missouri, and we're dang sure far from perfect. We're dang sure far from getting there, but bone and comfort level will never go out of style. I don't think any time in the last 15 years we have ever went backwards in terms of bone as an industry. We've never went backwards in terms of comfort level and putting as much emphasis on structural integrity and just comfort level as we ever has, as we are right now. If you can make them big bone and you can make them sound, it's going to be fun. And unfortunately, it's not easy to do that overnight. What I will tell you, and I know this probably sounds a little bit staged, but I promise you these questions, we had no idea they were coming until they came. This group of gilts and sows, in my opinion, were very comfortable. They had hair, they had bone, they had feature as a whole. And again, reach out to Will. He's going to tell you, hey, this one's not perfect here. None of them are. They're not perfect at our place. They're not perfect at his place. They're not perfect anywhere. He's going to tell you what you think of them, or what he thinks of them, excuse me. He's very approachable. Again, he talked about, there's different price levels, different whatever. We were talking earlier, and maybe this will come up later. We've bought several gilts and sows, bred sows out of this particular event. What I will tell you is maybe the most successful one that we have ever purchased out of here was a $3,000 open gilt. And in the grand scheme of things, good thing, bad thing, whatever you want to say, that's pretty below average for this particular sale if history repeats itself. So where I'm going with this story is it's not always the highest seller that's going to generate the most dollars. At the end of the day, there's lots of opportunities throughout this catalog. There's lots of opportunities within this industry. That $3,000 open gilt that we bought that time, I think, generated over $150,000 worth of pigs with just within a few litters. So again, got a little long-winded there. Opportunities there. You're buying from an awesome firm and somebody that has a passion for it and somebody that absolutely loves the people within the industry.
I hope I'm not stepping on your toes because you look poised to maybe move on to something else. But I've had a lot of fun there, and interesting topic there is Troy just talked about that $3,000 open gilt. She acquired a nickname. She got a little banged up on the trip there, and he told me he was going to need a wheelchair to get her around, and his lawyer was going to be in contact with mine. So I think I'm going to have my lawyer contact yours now, and maybe you owe me a little more money. But in all seriousness, I think if you want a gilt that's swing for the fences kind, that could raise a herd boar, move the needle in one generation, I think those gilts are represented. I think if you want a good basic fundamental gilt that's not going to get you in a whole lot of trouble, those gilts are represented. I truly believe, man, they're good, and there's a little something for everybody represented in this particular offering.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree, and I thought Troy's comment around bone and comfort, certainly those are very well represented in this offering, as you would expect. And the one thing too, I want you both to comment on, if as you see fit, or as Troy's alluded to in his roundabout way each time answering questions here tonight. But the thing that has impressed me, just looking at this sale from afar, and as well as just the program, it's really hard to, one, lay in a set of females that you have so much conviction and pride in, but then to also generate boars that then you go back and use on your own stuff, and then be able to continue to have success and do that. And that's one of the things that I would add into that criteria as well, of understanding that when you see something that says lead lap bred to this on the bottom side, that's because we know where the genetics of lead lap originate from. And so I think that's important too, to think about how those things all come full circle and truly buying and building in from a program. I do want to kind of ask you all a little different question here, if you'll humor me for a moment. And I think it is a good way to bring it back to the offering we have tomorrow. But it's no secret that you two evaluate a lot of shows and evaluate them at the highest level. And again, are some of the people that are considered some of the best in our business when it comes to that. My question relative to this offering is, as we think about again, someone looking at this sample, where do you see these sows and these females going on to ultimately push the next generation of where we see the show pig industry going? And so we've talked a lot, and you've made a lot of comments there casually when we were looking at these that, this one here is a swing for the fences kind, or this one could make one that could do this. And so I just want you all to kind of just generally comment for the folks at home and the folks interested in this offering of, a lot of people value your guys' opinion. A lot of people see you all as leaders on the forefront of breeding livestock and breeding show pigs. Relative to what we have here and where you see the industry going, what are some of the things that these females bring to the table?
No, I think that's a good question, and obviously we're going to talk a lot of positives up here. Will didn't have us come into his home court here to bash the livestock, but they are good, and I legitimately mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. What I will tell you is I thought as those sows came out, I know Will already alluded to it just a little bit, but I thought they all offered just something a little bit different, whether they were super complete and looked like the kind that you could mate to just the wildest, farthest reaching boar in the country, or at the same time, on the flip side of that, maybe they were the wild creature of the mating, and he mated them something a little more down the road. And I think there was a lot of thought process put behind this. I know when Will, and again, probably get a little off subject here, but when Will decided to not have this sale a year ago, he called me, and I remember exactly where I was at and what I was doing. And I sat down in the grass, the sun was shining, and we had a very, very good conversation. He said, I'm very serious about not having this. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound just really financially very smart, but I'm not going to tell anybody their business. I think it's been pretty solid. And he started saying, I think we can make our pigs better. I think we can cull harder. I think we can get our numbers up just a bit. And if we do that in 2025, I think we can have the best one that we've ever had. And again, getting a little off subject there, but I think that's what we have within this offering. I'm not going to go through them all in detail. Lot 16 I thought was one that just looked bulletproof. She's made it to Power Hour. Obviously that one holds a little special place in my heart. We bought that one there at PT last year for $150,000 with our good buddies Lackey and Schwecky. 12 and 13 I believe are the last two sows that we ran out. You guys take them how you want them. I'd take either one of them, and I truly mean that. We got service sires like Woke. This 13, I think I told Grant, or I know I told Grant, he was standing there with a sorting board leaning on there, and probably should have been doing something more productive, but was getting a little lazy there. But anyway, just joking. That's the Goose Chase, Dirty Lovin'. I said that might be the absolute best mating in the sale, and I'm not here to tell anybody how to make their sows. I don't know. Will knows more than I know. What I've seen at Woke, at our place, and across the country, that is the perfect sow in this guy's opinion to mate to that. You got Dash 8, like I just talked about, Lot 12. Man, that Dash 8 thing was ahead of its time, probably just in terms of bone and hair. She's bred to meant to be. Obviously, that thing has an incredible story. If you don't like the blue sow, that's okay. We will buy her instead of you, I guess. I love that pig. I think she's incredible. We don't even chase blues at our place, if I'm being honest. We have bought some here. If they have belts, they have belts. If they have blues, she's bred to one way. That sow had a particular sow that would have actually sold, or a barrow, that would have sold in our sale there in Missouri called Top Shelf. That barrow went on to do a lot of winning there in California and was one of my favorites there at Kansas City. The Brass Tacks Anchorman sow, Lot 9. If you want hair, you want bone, and you want rib shape in a moderate fashion, I don't know if there's one any better in the offering. Again, I could go through all of them. That's what we didn't want to do in this particular setting because we thought it would get too repetitive. We thought it would get too long. There's a ton of these no-huddle daughters. We've talked about the positives that they bring forward. Again, kind of bouncing a little all over the board. There is something in here for everybody. I truly mean that. Again, taking things away from these guys. If you want to swing for the fence, there's those. You can hit the home run. You can win the baseball game. If you want to get on base and just be safe and get your foot in the door and sell those kind of show pigs to people, they're going to keep them coming back and just build a very loyal kind of customer base. I think there's those sows. Again, I'm not here to tell anybody how to mate them, and honestly, Will knows way more about them. I'll let him kind of tell you what he thinks of this particular offering of sows.
Yeah, I think you touched on a little bit that we pulled the plug on last year's event, and man, that was something honestly that was hard for me to do because although it's a ton of work, I thoroughly enjoy showcasing these females, and it gives it a little bit of a production type or cow type sale when you start talking about. Man, I always admired the cow guys and how they talked about cow families, and you'd look at a cattle catalog and it'd be lot 1, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it was kind of all tied to one cow family. I think we need more of that approach in this business and talk more about the females. And I just felt when we were getting ready for last year's event that if we dove in and sold the kind that we need to sell to hold the first-class female standard in the same regard that I want it to be held in, that in the same breath, we need to take care of pig customers too. We've got to have sows that can generate the type of show barrows that allow our pig customers to be successful. I never want this female sale to become something that we have to have every year from a financial standpoint. I want it to be something that we want to have and we can afford to have from a numbers and quality standpoint. I've got the list on my phone still that I made up last year. I had a list of the open gilts put together. The venue was booked. The auctioneer was booked. We were about ready to start taking pictures when I decided it was something we just didn't need to do. And I think where I'm going with this, the interesting thing there, there's a 28-litter picture this sow now that was on the list of open gilts to sell. She farrowed her gilt litter this year, and we sold a $170,000 pig out of that sow's first litter. So those are the kind of females that I truly believe that we're getting ready to part with. Some of the sows have already done it. The open gilts, obviously, they've got to breed and get their part going there. But I think those kind are here. Time will tell, but I'm real proud of them.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good way to kind of wrap up our discussion of the offering here. And, for those that may be just tuning in, we do want to remind you the sale will take place tomorrow at 8 p.m. It will be a live sale, but also there will be bidding through CCI.live, powered by Kennedy Ventures. Of course, there's many contacts that you can reach out to visit about the sale offering. Going to have a preview tomorrow evening, again, 5 p.m. before the actual sale starts. And we've alluded to it several times of this offering is far more than just an opportunity to buy a run-of-the-mill female. These are ones that are coming from the heart of Hilty Showpigs. They're coming from a perspective of thought and mastery of breeding livestock, and it's a great opportunity for you all to tie in. And I know we're getting the wrap-up signal here, but I think this is a unique forum and a platform for us to visit, and I know there's more of these things that are starting to happen pre-sale, and I think they're very positive from industry discussions. And for us to kind of wrap up, and again, as I opened up in my comments, you two are both good friends of mine and people I respect in this industry, and we kind of posed a question last week at a meeting I was at that I'd like you two to react as kind of our parting words here this evening. That honestly, I think show a little bit of vulnerability, to be quite frank, but also I hope a little bit of excitement and momentum about this business. And so I'd like you to start, Troy, and then Will, you can bring us home, and then I'll close it up. But I'd like you to first answer the question, what's one thing that keeps you up at night about this business? But then what's the thing that gets you most excited about when you wake up in the morning?
I'm glad you have to go first. Well, I thought we were wrapping up and we were going to get out of here without me saying something stupid, but I guess not. So here we go. That's a very good question, and honestly, I don't know where we'll go. We'll just start kind of talking, and that's kind of what I do when I judge pig shows, just start talking, and hopefully somebody we convinced somebody I knew what I was talking about, but really didn't. But no, here we go. I think that's real good, and honestly, a very, very good question. And first and foremost, I guess I'll answer that and open it up with. I don't know if this will sound very popular, but I've told people this a lot lately because as I get older and I guess I become more mature, I guess if you will, and grow up more, I guess. Keep growing up every day, hopefully, but you start to see different sides of it as a breeder versus maybe what you were at 20 years old. Maybe you were breeding pigs, but there was still a little bit of kid left in you that all you cared about was winning a pig show and so on and so forth. So I think as you get older, and obviously Will has kids and has seen more sides of it than me, but I think you start to see lots of different sides and point of views of it, where some people in the industry are, this is the only thing that they're worried about, and this person, maybe this is the only thing they're worried about. So I think it makes things really, really interesting, within the industry. But what I will tell you from a show pig breeder's perspective, what keeps you up late at night is trying to be relevant. And I don't know if that's a cool thing to say, or maybe that's not the right thing that I was supposed to say, but all of us like to be successful. Let's just be honest. We're not doing this to just go through the motions, or at least maybe I'm not. Maybe that's not, a popular thing to say. But what keeps you up late at night? How do we make the next step? How do we make pigs better? How do we change our marketing program? How do we provide better customer service? How do we improve our sales? Or how do we do this, and how do we do that? This business is so tough. It's so competitive. And it's so fast-paced, particularly in relation to other species, and that's not saying it's any tougher or more difficult or not. It's just so fast-paced that if you aren't constantly changing, whether it be your breeding program or your marketing, or maybe it's your health program or whatever it may be, if you're not changing, somebody is, and you're getting passed up. So, what keeps you up at night? Just trying to be competitive and stay. I'm not saying on top, because we're far from that, but staying relevant and staying, a breeder or someone within the industry that younger people can look up to. At the same time, the thing that keeps you going, and this is probably going to sound cliche, I guess. I know we've said that already, but at the end of the day, as much as I can complain about people sometimes, if I'm just being 100% honest, it is the people that keep it going. And sometimes I'm not the best people person, if I'm going to be honest. But if you have a kid or a family or something that you can help out just a little bit and find success. For me, there was a lot of people along my journey, I guess, and again, we're far from being where we want to be or on top or whatever you want to call it, but there was a lot of people that helped me out along the way, whether they knew they were at the time maybe or not. They were helping me out or my family out or our operation out, whether it was just answering a question or providing some kind of guidance. For me, it's the kids, it's the family, and it's the good people within this industry, because there's a ton of them. A ton of very, very good people within the livestock industry that kind of keep me going and keep me moving forward.
Well, it's always fun to go after Troy, because he does a good job at hitting the nail on the head, and man, I think he absolutely knocked it out of the park there. I think as a breeder, one thing that maybe keeps you up at night, like Troy said, is man, it's a fast-paced, quickly evolving business, and a lot of times people say that it's a young man's game, and even though I like to think of myself as a young man still, my bald head and gray hair would tell the story a whole lot differently. And
Troy has a bald head too.
He does have a bald head. I think maybe I've got more hair than he does. But anyways, again, I think like Troy said, it's the people, and although I'm getting gray hairs and getting a little thin up top, I like to think I'm young at heart, and age is just a number. I still think of myself as a young guy in this, and we brought Grant on a couple years ago, and man, I think having a younger guy in the fold has been awesome for our program. man, he's on top of some of the ever-changing trends in terms of getting those things clipped and fitted, and doing an awesome job of that. So certainly appreciate what he's done for our program from that standpoint. My brother Jason, kind of behind the scenes, he got to bring his boy Theo to the Jackpot Show, and he did Pee Wee showmanship the other day for the first time. And as a show dad or somebody that's seen a lot of this, man, seeing my kids show or my brother's kids show for the first time, those things, those moments are still very, very special to me. And I think that's what keeps me in this, keeps me plugging along, and ultimately I think what keeps us relevant, and I guess maybe the one word that I think you could use to describe all show pig people, breeders, feeders alike. Man, a lot of times this isn't easy, but man, show pig people are resilient. Breeders, show families, it's easy to get discouraged on both ends of this, but nothing in life is easy, and the resiliency of the people involved in this business is absolutely second to none.
Yeah, I think a really good way to wrap up, and again, appreciate everybody tuning in here this evening. I think an excellent forum and discussion. Appreciate Troy Sloan and, of course, Will Hilty here joining us here this evening. Do want to remind folks the first class female sale, Volume 3, will take place tomorrow at 8 p.m. You can be here live in person, or of course, bid on CCI.live, powered by Kennedy Ventures. Going to be an 8 p.m. sharp start, I'm sure, maybe a little slightly after. But again, please reach out to the crew here in Pennsylvania, or anyone here that's viewed the offering. Plenty of folks that'll be willing to share their opinion. And again, we appreciate you here tuning in this evening. We wish everybody a good evening.